So our first guest for the morning is Altia Lucrezia. She's a light language channeler, a galactic contactee, Akashic and psychic healer, Reiki practitioner, Kundalini teacher, and tarot and divination astrologer. She specializes in light language, and she also works with the energetic imprint of the rainbow ray spectrum. And she says she works closely with the 9th dimensional Pleiadians as well, and a 12th dimensional mantis sphinx. That's a lot of galactic flavor coming in. Altia, welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. Well, I'll let you take it away. I know you've got some amazing light codes and transmissions to give us today.
Thank you. I just want to ask something. I usually like to give a little bit of time for Q&A at the end, but I can't see the chat or the people commenting. Is there any way that I'm going to be able to see that so that I can answer questions, perhaps?
I can probably...
Well, let me jump in. Altia, maybe you just need to change your and click on the link, the button that says comments. You should be able to see everybody's chat.
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Right. Yeah, it was just on the side, so I couldn't see it. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, we could easily do Q&As. All right, I'll let you take it away, Altia.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay. So, hi guys, welcome. What a beautiful conversation to follow through from after, Neil and Alan and Flo. I was actually part of the Lion Conference. I also spoke up there on the 5th. It was about a week ago, just under a week ago, and it was really, really powerful. And what an incredible lineup coming up for the dragons and all these beautiful events. It almost feels like our systems need to expand exponentially to keep on holding all these activations that have been coming through. And I just briefly want to, I wasn't going to talk about this, but since they mentioned it, I just want to share this information that came through quite strongly during the Lion Conference about this beautiful connection between the lions and the dragons, and how this ancient embodied wisdom that we need to integrate and learn to apply to our future is coming through even more within every single year, within every single day, really. So my personal experience with dragons is I actually see them in the 3D and I see them in the astral space as well. And I will explain a little bit today also about your third dimensional density vision, your psychic vision, your astral vision, and your vision through the quantum realm, because that's something that came through, because there's a lot of third eye activations that are coming through on a collective level for everyone. So they just said to me, give a little bit of an explanation on what's going on with that. So this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to give a little bit of an energetic upgrade. I'm going to speak a little bit about the frequencies and energies that have been coming through and that will come through. And then I will be doing a light language transmission, and I'm always happy to take any questions from you guys. I love interacting with the audience. I love taking questions. So thank you everyone for being here. Yeah, so with regards to the dragons, I see them as quite interesting. I'll see them within their own dimensional density overlapped into the 3D. So what does this mean? This means I'll see like a solid outline, but then I'll have to focus and consciously activate my vision to be able to see through the matrix construct, and then I will see the actual dragon being itself. And let me tell you guys, they are so beautiful. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Some have wings, some, like I work with one who's like, the best way I can describe it is a mixture between like a phoenix and a dragon with fire. I'm a fire sign. I work a lot with fire. So that's one of like my main ones. And I say he because it has a more of a masculine imprinting energy. He actually comes through my third eye. So when I have to do some work on someone's system, and this very beautiful dragon comes through, he will actually anchor within this reality construct and come through my third eye. So he just he kind of comes out and like flies out, sort of thing. Okay, what's been happening? A lot's been happening. A lot's been going on. There's been a complete full system recalibration for most of the people. And what does this mean? This means there's a lot of multidimensional timelines that are merging, and a lot of clear senses are coming online, and a lot of clear senses are merging. So if you're getting confused by your psychic senses, vision, intuition, it's not you. Your system is upgrading. So, and this is a perfect example. This happened to me like 2 days ago. I released a reel on it, and it has to do with the timelines merging and the clear senses merging within the different dimensional density of timelines. And I'll explain to you on a practical level what happened. I was scrolling through my phone and I was scrolling through Instagram, and I suddenly appeared on a video of a fire in a forest. Okay. And all of a sudden I start smelling smoke and fire. And I look in my room, and I'm in my studio, and I just sat down. I hadn't lit any candles. There was no incense going. There was no way that this could have come from around me. So I was like, okay, like I'm just going to sit and observe. Then I scroll down to the next story, and the next story is someone making a mold plaster of someone's teeth, like at the dentist. And if any of you have ever had braces or had this process done at the dentist, there's a very distinct like smell and taste and consistency that mold they put on your mouth has. Okay. I started tasting that in my mouth. So this was probably either like tuning cyclean or reactivating perhaps a memory that I had as well, because I'd had braces put on when I was younger. And so I had that kind of like happen to me. And so I was like, okay, like there's no logical reason for me to be feeling that. And then I scroll back up and I go back to the fire. And again, I start smelling the fire, and this dissipates and goes away. So then when I tuned in, I was just explained that because of the timelines merging and the vibrational frequency of the planet rising on a collective level, more of this is going to happen. And not just to me, like to everyone. And it's so funny because I then released a reel saying it, like my reels are done literally on the day, like the information that comes through like needs to go out. So I'll just release it when it happens. I had, I don't know, like over 100 comments of people saying that they've been experiencing something very similar in the past week or so, or at other points in their life. So that was very interesting. And then I also asked, okay, like I wanted to go a little bit deeper into this concept. I'm like, why is this happening right now? So what's happening is a lot of people's systems are being fully recalibrated. What does this mean? It means that for some of you, your whole chakra system is actually going to be replaced with a higher version, a higher vibrational frequency version that is more aligned to where your energy field and physical body is right now. So you might be feeling really disoriented for like a short amount of time, or you might be going through very intense ascension symptoms. Like I'm seeing a whole bunch of clients that are going through like all of a sudden they have anxiety, or they're having like weird allergic reactions, or they're ending up, going to the hospital because they feel like something's happening, but then they do all their tests and they're actually like, no, like you're fine, So these things are not being able to be explained from like a more westernized medical perspective. However, from an energetic perspective, if you can see, this is what's going on. And a lot of people's systems have been more slanted to the right. And this is what Alan mentioned and was saying before, that there's been a lot of processing with the logical mind, a lot of people being like, not fully being able to step into the surrender, into the releasing attachment to expectation, people, situation, into the full trust, into healing the core wound of abandonment from source consciousness, because it all comes back to the root chakra. So the systems have been more slanted to the right, and I'm talking about the chakra system and the column of energy field within a lot of beings right now. So with this raise of collective vibrational baseline frequency, the system is being clocked and anchored back into how it's supposed to be. Now, this isn't necessarily the case for everyone, but I'm seeing it in a lot of people. So this is a very big energetic shift that's been happening right now. I have not seen something like this and to this level ever in my career. Like it really feels like it's such a huge pivotal point for the ascension and awakening of humanity, because there's so much is going on, on a physical level, on an energetic level. So this is one of the things that I've noticed. So really, really interesting. In my own experience, generally what happens with these things is me and other energy workers who are holding a collective responsibility and are in this line of work and are, expanding and sharing the knowledge and speaking publicly, we will go through these things before the collective in order to be able to be grounded, embodied, and present so we can hold space when the collective and the majority of people is going through this. And this isn't necessarily like, yes, it can be the people here, but also the people that are not consciously aware that they are going through this. They're going through it anyway, even if they're not necessarily aware of it. Like, it's still happening within the system. It's like, you don't have to believe something for it to be, kind of like, I don't like using the word truth because truth can be kind of like subjective, but, for it to be in a timeline that is anchored in from a lot of people, that is what truth is. It's these timelines where a lot of people are anchored in, so it makes it in a sense more real, because more of us, with our manifestation and co-creation and our energy fields and our infinite light system and perfect machinery upgrade that we have, we are working into creating this reality. So that timeline becomes a timeline that is more real and is more, in truth. So with me, what happened to me, actually, this was in 2020. I had my whole, actually 2019, my whole system was removed and I had a different system put in that was necessary for me to navigate my pregnancy in a way to be able to carry through the soul that had to come through me. I needed to be operating on a system that was merged with different coding. It was operating on a different blueprint. And then about a year or so after, I did this very big energy work and that system was taken out and my own individual chakra system on which I was operating before was put back in. So this is like really advanced new stuff. I mean, for me anyway, from how I've worked and what I've seen. It's also understanding that it isn't like this for everyone, but understanding that the channel and the energy field is also multidimensional within itself. So something else that happened to me that I went through last year that quite a few people will be going through as well is, and I spoke about this at the Conscious Life Expo last year. By the way, I will be there this year as well. So if you are in New York or LA in January and February, I will be that side and taking one-on-ones. So contact me if you would like a one-on-one activation, because I know that most of you are there. So I'm coming back that side. What happened with me is my system started operating within another system next to it. And then I slowly actually integrated 7 different chakra systems that were part of me in different multidimensional aspects and sides of myself. So I went through very high level work doing soul fragment retrieval. And as I did that soul fragment retrieval, I eventually was able to re-anchor in all those parts of chakra systems and of myself that I needed for me to be more embodied, more present, or to activate more, to expand more. Like, it's very interesting because I don't really have the want to know. Like, I released the attachment to wanting to know very long ago, well, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Sorry guys, I have been clearing on and off the whole day. It is the 10:10, so. Okay. So with me, it kind of like, as I navigated through my own experiences, and I did, this soul fragment retrieval, I started to anchor into different gifts of myself and understanding more of myself and going into the shadow work. And then just kind of like going on from there, but not having any attachment to wanting to know why. Because what I've learned is that if I need to know something, they're going to tell me. Like, I'm not going to run away from it. There is no way that I'm not going to know. It's either going to come through someone in the astral. It's going to be thrown in my face. It's going to be a post-it that falls down from the sky and gets stuck to my head. Like, I promise you, if the universe wants you to know something, you will know. So I think that having knowledge and, you know, a healthy curiosity is really good, but no attachment to it, you know. Be aware of the information, like be curious and find out. But if you don't know, it's also okay. Like, you don't need to know. What you need to know will come to you at the right time. And this is a very big lesson also that I've been giving, you know, from my perspective to a lot of people and clients, because sometimes clients will come to me with a specific question. I say, guys, you can ask me anything. I can ask anything. There's an infinite abyss of knowledge and knowing that we are all connected to, and I facilitate that. So I can ask absolutely anything. You won't necessarily get the answer to it, you know, so you can always ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to know, but it's not necessarily that you'll get an answer for it. So, yeah. So another thing that a lot of people are going through right now is really, really intense ascension symptoms, like I mentioned, because of this higher chakra recalibration that a lot of individuals are having. You have to rapidly let go of the old timelines, and that's going to clear in the physical. I'm not saying you're going to have like hectic injuries and things like that, but there will be weird pains and things that you won't understand why you have, but you have. So my advice would be to work with solfeggio frequencies to help with that, send lights and healing, and tune in and see. Like me today, no apparent reason, I was doing my yoga practice. All of a sudden, like my wrist just starts, like it feels like it's burning and it's on fire. And I'm not doing headstands. I'm literally doing like down dogs and sun salutations. It's not like I'm doing anything dramatic, you know. It's better now. But I was like, okay. And then they were like, no, you're clearing something through that. It's through the left side. And again, like explaining that, you know, because all these systems are kind of slanted to the right, we are moving into an era where we need to anchor more into our left side, into our emotional, into our divine feminine, into our surrender, into our unconditional love and trust. Okay. So that came through quite strongly to mention as well. A lot of releasing through the heart center, a lot of work with the forgiveness emotion. This is something else that when I tuned in earlier, they say, please, to all, not please, that they kind of like sent me, you know, the option, and very strongly they were like, talk about forgiveness. And it's not even necessarily forgiveness of others, forgiveness of self. So many of us have lived through so many experiences, through so many challenges, through so many galactic incarnation, through so much galactic conflict and war, that right now the state that humanity and the collective is in is making resurface these karmic traumas and emotions. And for some of you, it's going to be difficult because you're going to remember things that you might have done that now you'd be like, oh my God, like, why? I mean, I had lifetimes where I was like poisoning people, like, which now I'm just like, what, you know? And when that came up, it was actually quite intense because I don't know, it's karmic law. Like I cleared that literally like projectile vomiting. Like I was sick, like vomiting. That was how I cleared that timeline. So I'm not saying it's going to necessarily be like that for you guys as well, but it's really a matter of forgiveness of self. And anchoring into that compassion of self, that forgiveness, again, that surrender, that letting go, that allowing, that being present in the moment, being present in the now. So now on a practical level, you know, how do you clear your timelines? How do you facilitate this process? How do you make it easier on your system, on your energy field, on your experience, on your family, on your partners, on your sons, your daughters, your parents, on your life in general? Because you know, this is what we are here for, you know, me and all these beautiful people that are here talking. We want to give you information, but I give so much importance to the practical. Like we're living here, we're in the 3D, we're in the now. Yes, it's beautiful. The dragons, the lions, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the mantis beings, the blue avians, you know, the societies, all of them, they're all beautiful and amazing. but we are here now. We chose to be here now. We chose to master the experience of the here, of the now, of the moment. So what tools can I give you to help you within this process, within this experience? So how do you clear your timelines? How do you do this work? First thing, you can ask before going to sleep in the astral space. When you dream, you have no limitation of time. All the timelines are happening at the same time. So you can clear timelines instantly, okay? And sometimes it happens that you get sent the scenery from when you were in high school, or from, I don't know, something your mother said to you when you were 7 years old, or whatever, by you reliving that, you're observing it and you're clearing it within the astral space, okay? So that's a very powerful way. You can set the intention before going to sleep. Generally, going to sleep in a space of gratitude, in a good vibrational frequency, in a high vibrational frequency would be the best, because then that's the frequency you're going to anchor into your astral space. The astral works in levels. You have your lower astral tier, your middle, and your higher. What's going on in the lower can't reach what's in the middle, which can't reach what's in the higher. So if you get in the astral space and you get psychically attacked, the best way to get out of it is just think of love, or send compassion, or send healing to whatever is happening within the situation. And you're going to raise your vibrational frequency to a higher plane within the astral dimensional density, and whatever is here can't come there, because the frequency is static down here of whatever experience that is. And sometimes that's what you need to do to clear. Sometimes, it's a co-creation of your mind, and you see your mother and she takes the form of a huge giant spider that wants to eat you, and then you send it love and healing, and then you've cleared that timeline, you've neutralized it, okay? And within this work, we can literally assist the whole family nucleus. Like, we can assist the whole generation before us and clear for the one that's coming after us, okay? Movement is a really good way to move through emotions and clear timelines as well. For me, I really cannot put too much emphasis on movement, whether it's Qigong, yoga, Pilates, cardio, weight training, strength training, tennis, running, whatever it is, move your body. Energy gets stuck. Energy can be dense. You need to move through it, even if it's 10 minutes every morning. I promise you, do it for a week, your life will change. It will change. I cannot say this enough, Another way to clear timelines is, doing the shadow work and understanding, why is this trigger coming through to you? Okay, what is going on? So your father says something and all of a sudden you triggered and irritated and upset. And guys, it's going to happen. Whether it's the father, the brother, whoever it is, at some point it's going to happen, because again, we're human, and surely there's people of different generations here, but my generation, I'm in my 30s. I come from parents that were beautiful and amazing, but there wasn't kind of the mindset at the time to do the self-healing work, so on an indirect and subconscious level, we did, pick up and get some of their trauma. So it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to clear it if we have the conscious awareness to do so. So seeing the trigger and then stopping and being like, okay, why is this triggering me? What is it bringing up? And I promise you guys, if you tune in and you quiet and you're focused and present enough, you will actually see the timeline, whether it's in this lifetime or in a previous lifetime with a family member. It will come to you. The answer will come, maybe not straight away, and most certainly not in the way that you expect it. So have no expectations, but it will come to you in one way or another. You just need to be present, grounded, and embodied enough to be able to see it when it comes through to you. And the more you do this, the more you clear your timelines, the more you do this kind of soul fragment retrieval process, the more your gift will expand and integrate. And days like this, the 10-10, are very important days to, and guys, I don't want anyone to put pressure on themselves. Oh my God, it's the 10-10. I need to do this. I need to do that. I kind of tend to let these portal days flow. I try to not be super packed with clients. I only have 2 clients today that I worked with. And then I had this, I took the whole morning off for myself to go and do yoga, and journal and rest and recalibrate. Because for me, like that is real kind of like wealth and abundance, being able to have the time to do that. And when it's like this 10-10, 11-11, 12-12 or whatnot, even if I try to fill my day up, my guides will actually like open it. They'll be like, no, you need, and I try to stay in this space of contentment and happiness and unconditional love without spiritually bypassing anything. If things come up, I will observe and release them. But I try to, just live my life in a way that helps me be the best version of myself. And then just by doing that, I'm amplifying that frequency exponentially because of the 10-10. And then that's rippling an effect and anchoring into, my life in general. So it's good to obviously take time. If you want to do rituals, do rituals. If you want to, sit down and work with your energy and ground and manifest, do it. But again, you don't have to, it's sometimes a lot simpler than what we think. It's really just about being present. Okay, I want to quickly touch on, I've got a little bit of time left. I will do a transmission. I want to quickly touch on the memory construct upgrade. That's also what's been happening. This has been going on for about 2 years now, but it's really like happening a lot now. So what's happening is a lot of people's memories are actually upgrading within their 5D memory. What does this mean? This means that this is kind of like how I see it and understand it. You're not holding your thoughts and your memory within your head anymore. It's almost held within like a energetic cloud, kind of like around you sort of thing. And what does this mean? This means that you might feel like you can't remember what you had yesterday for dinner, or like you're like forgetting things, or like you're getting confused, and it's just your recalibration. Because as your energetic system upgrades and you start downloading more and more information, you start getting these downloads of like galactic lifetimes and previous lifetimes and Lemuria and Atlantis and the Lyran Wars, and all these beautiful things. You're going to need, it's almost like you're going to need more space to hold the data, if it makes sense. So the memory upgrades within a 5D construct. And what happens is the DNA activates and things start to click, and you start to have the cognitive understanding of what it is that you're downloading, but you're not holding it within your physical. It's not being held within your like physical memory brain. It's being held within a 5th dimensional density memory brain, which is beyond time and space. Okay, so so that's been happening as well. A lot of people are going to start getting and have been getting prophetic dreaming. Again, guys, prophetic dreaming isn't down to the T. So it's not like, oh, you dream of a red car, someone's going to gift you a red car tomorrow. No, it's more like, so for me, I've had prophetic dreaming since I was a young child. I will actually pick up the frequency of death. So I will dream most of the time of something or someone that I know passing away. And that's just how my cognitive understanding processes it within the co-creation of my dream reality. But it's almost never the person that I see, it's someone else. So I'll give you an example. Like a few months ago, I dreamt of my grandfather passing away, who, bless him, is still alive at 97. I think maybe half an hour later, I got a message that one of my close friends' grandmother had passed away, but I had seen it within that way, if it makes sense. So this is not necessarily that everyone's going to see it, in this way, but prophetic dreaming is going to be amplified for a lot of you guys moving into this new frequency that we're going to be navigating, and we're getting prepped for the end of the year to anchor into an even newer frequency with the start of 2025. There's a lot of like ley lines and things that are being activated. There's one or two. Okay, I'm going to mention this because it's worth mentioning. There's a massive purge of the divine feminine energy of lack of self-worth, self-love, and self-trust. So there's going to be a re-embodiment of the worthiness of the divine feminine. This was also a big theme that I saw that's clearing and coming in. So you're going to move through these emotions of not feeling good enough, not feeling valued, not feeling seen, and a situation might trigger you. You might, be in a relationship and you're not feeling seen or approved. Not that you need anyone's approval, but in that moment you do, because that's how you feel, and you're seeking external validation. So there's going to be a release of this attachment of seeking external validation within the divine feminine part of everyone. So this is also for men, not just for women. It's just working more with the divine feminine vibrational frequency, okay? So I briefly, before I go into a light language transmission and clearing, and I'm very happy to take questions if you guys have, I want to quickly mention what I have coming up on my own platform. I've got an event coming up on the 11/11 where we will be working with dragon energy. You can find the link on my website. I don't know if someone can maybe message it in the comments, or I'll just write it just now there as well. So I've got that coming up. My Costa Rica retreat, but yeah, that's sold out, but I'll probably do one next year again. And then January, I am holding a workshop in New York, Manhattan on the 1st of February, and I will be taking one-on-one clients in person when I'm there in January. And then February, I'll be talking at the Conscious Life Expo. I think tickets go on sale at the end of the month. And then I also have a workshop that I'm holding the weekend after that with a colleague of mine in Pacific Palisades in LA. And I'm taking one-on-ones in LA. On my website, I still have maybe like 20 different workshops available. I'm doing 6-week programs, 6-month programs, light language activations, Akashic clearings, full system upgrades and clearings, higher chakra attunement. So I'll tune your system in 13 chakras, which brings you closer to accessing light body activations and just a whole bunch of stuff. So go to my website if you want to connect with me on a deeper level. And thank you everyone for being here. So I'm going to see what comes through. You can all start by closing your eyes and anchoring into your bodies as you find your comfortable breathing rhythms. With every inhale, you breathe in light. And with every exhale, you release all that doesn't serve you anymore. As you relax the body, the system, the energy field, you stay in a space of openness and oneness. And as we call on the Archangelic Collective, Michael to the south, Uriel to the north, Raphael to the east, and Gabriel to the west, we call on Archangel Metatron with his blue cloak of protection from above and Son of One to seal the grid from below. As we call on our higher selves, the spirit guides, and anyone else who wishes to be present for the greatest and highest good, you're welcome in the space. Okay. Opening systems. Opening. Takreo kuma isera ishia. Taina yera takria treo koa ishera yaseo kona yashera yatra. Trea treo koa yasete tero kotkara ishera yanaratra. Tre ra yashera yatra. Tero kokora isera isero koa ya ishena yatra trea sietaro kokoro trea tekera ishera ya. It is time. It is time to anchor into truth. So this will work on the third. To anchor into love. Connecting. I'm doing an activation and connection between the heart and third chakras. Activating. Bringing in more light, divine rays. Anchoring. Expanding. Trusting yourselves. Letting go. Old programs, paradigms, structures, clean, releasing, opening, releasing, opening, releasing, opening, releasing, opening, clean, releasing, letting go, opening, expanding, activating, calling in divine rays, anchoring, rainbow rays, aurora rays, blue rays, green rays, violet rays, anchoring, angelic rays, yotoku, narashira, kokoro, ishanayatara, tira, ishirayatara. The time is here, the time is now to be present. Kiro korokoro trea sero tokokoro ishirayatra, to be embodied. Yatukoko ishirayatoro torokoko ishirayatra. Trea to let go of judgment of self. Let go of judgment of others. Let go of guilt. Let go of shame. You are the key. You are the machine that drives the program. You create the program. You create the life. You co-create from the heart, from the knowledge of self, from the understanding of self. You create, you embody, you expand, you guide with your light, others, guide. Ya shira taka taya trio kokora ya ishira ya sie kokoa ni aishia tratria ki kokoa ya sie heshokoa ni etara trayo shie kokoa ya sie seroha tiera ya taka ya ishia taka trahuta ya ishira rise with your brothers and sisters, rise together, rise as one. Yatohashia takahaishiatara trahaishia sehasia haishiataka trakie huana yaishia seashir hatara yasietaka trayaishie sasaro kukua yaishieta yashera yatra triatreu uaishe siesara yasio ania ishirataka triatrea expand into multidimensional versions of self. Yero o aya ishirataka Ndara ishira, yes, it is time to learn. It is time to remember who you are. Ya ishakara, ya siesera yataka. Traishia kaka ua ya ishia sia siohora yatra. Trea sie kuhaishia saya tre akie kuaishia. Taina ya ishie sakuara trea kia siaratra. Treo kuana ya tre ashie kasiero oa trea sia rising, lifting, yashia hasiera yashera taka trea creo kua ya ishe hasiero hatia tara ya crea siera takara trea tres is also peripheral activation kia hua ishe nayata trea kie hua yara trea siwatia ishe hasiera taka tahare ishe hasio kua ya ishe sara sira sia ishiro koha let go ya tokoro of what is weighing you down kiro ora you are light become light. Anchor into your light, infinite beings of light. Pull the reins of your life. Create. You are here to create from love, create with love. Taya te hashie sakoko ayanara trie sara ishera yatra trea kuro create rebirth into newer versions of self kir okura ishera yasara embodying the all-encompassing infinite love yate ura yasiatara ichi aishirata. It is what you are. Tiro kura yate, it is what you've always been. It is what you will always be. Anya ishera yatra trea kiro kokura trea siesa kokua ishera yasiera kara trea asiera taka ishera yatra naharia ishe hasieto koa ishera taka tra iatreo koko rea siena taka ria ishera yatra Tahania Shirayatra, Treo Koro Aishira Sietaka. Okay, we are the Rock Collective. We salute you, Katia Shinayataka. Trea Treo Kokoania Sietokoa Ishiraya Sera Atara, Trea Creo Kokoa Ishia, Nianaraya Seokoa Heshietaka, Rea Tre Kie Kokoatia, Tania Tre Akia Rea Treo Kokora Trea Sietaka. Trokrea niata yaishitsa, grounding, anchoring, grounding, closing, sealing, closing, sealing, closing, sealing, sealing, closing, sealing, closing, closing, sealing, closing, sealing, closing, sealing, sealing, closing, sealing, closing, 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 sealing, sealing, closing, sealing, closing, 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 sealing, closing, sealing, closing, sealing. Sealing, closing, anchoring. Okay. Okay. Thanks, guys. That was really powerful. I don't know if there's any questions. I'm like high from that energy. That's the best way I can describe it. And I'm actually like quite sweating as well. You probably can't see on camera, but I'm very, very overheated. That was a very powerful transmission. The Raw Collective is a 6-dimensional density consciousness. And yeah, that was really beautiful. You're welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Hi, Ty.
Hello. Wow, that was incredible. Thank you so much for your beautiful transmission. I have questions for you. I think there's a couple in the chat box possibly as well. What I loved about your talk was that you really bring in the practical element, and I think that's so important to always ground in. You know, we always think it's fun to journey and meet all these amazing beings, but then at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, we're still here in 3D, like a reality check, you know? So I love that you really brought that in. My question is, you know, and I think this is helpful for a lot of the audience as well. You know, when you're going through that process of awakening, and when everything's getting upgraded and you're feeling all the ascension symptoms, sometimes it gets a little bit too much. Do you think we have the ability to dial it down, or to, you know, have a bit of a chat with our guide and say, hey, you know what, like maybe we just need to adjust this a little bit?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And I had to do that in my own experience back when I was going through a lot of activations in 2017, 2018. I don't know what was going on. And then my one colleague at the time who went through it like a year before me, she's like, babe, like tell your guys to chill on you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just sat in meditation. I cleared my mind and I said, okay, like I understand this is a lot right now. Can we like tone it down a little bit? And then that happens. Some things we need to go through and they need to be a bit more intense, but for sure, we powerful co-creator beings, we have free will. So yeah, like try and ask.
Yeah, I love that. I think sometimes people, they tend to think, well, you know, this is coming from the higher realms, and so I have to just go through it. And we kind of have this tendency to be either self-sacrificial, or we just like put up with these symptoms. And I think it's a beautiful reminder for people to really know that it's a co-creation, right, between us and our guides. And because they're not having the exact 3D experience that we're having, sometimes we need to tell them a little bit and say, actually, you know, maybe this is a bit much, or maybe we need to just like remind them of the actual experience that we're having, so that we can actually work in co-creation.
Yeah, because they're going through their own lessons, their own tasks, their own experiences. And one of the lessons might be, you know, that they have to assist us, and we need to move through these lessons for them to move through their lesson. But they are experiencing, exactly as you said, they're experiencing from a different perspective. So it's really all about communication and sovereignty as well, I would say.
I love that sovereignty piece. Thank you so much, Altia. It's been a beautiful transmission and conversation, and I really appreciate you just being the beautiful big light that you are.
It's a pleasure. Can I just put my website in the comments?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think we've had questions. If we did, yeah, I don't think so. I think people are just generally appreciating, and yeah, they're saying that the transmission was really deep, and you got a lot of thank you notes in there for yourself.
A pleasure. Yeah, and I just want to answer the one girl, Yelena. She's saying she was mind-blowing and confused. Your system is going to integrate. Like, you will download the information when it's best for you. Like, a lot of the time, if you're on this and, you know, you're here right now, it's because you're supposed to be here. And even if you don't cognitively understand everything, like to the T, like the information will go and come through when it's the most appropriate time for you in your system.
Do you find that sometimes after these activations, even if you don't understand it, maybe like in your sleep state, or, you know, even in a meditation down the track, do you find that you get more of that clarity?
Well, I mean, not me per se, because I'm quite clear when my information comes through, but I would imagine for someone who's watching that is having some confusion, sometimes you integrate when you're like sleeping, or sometimes when your mind is at rest, because you need to be in that space of groundedness and non-attachment. So a perfect example is I'll get so many downloads when I'm driving, because I'm subconsciously doing something on autopilot. So I'm busy doing something, but I'm not like, you know, busy worrying about other things. So it'll be a perfect time for information to drop in, you know. So for sure, like, people integrate in different ways.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. Christy said, you answered my right knee hurting.
Oh, there you go. Oh, and knees is old karma and old trauma and family stuff. So knees is like a big one. Like knees, wrists, elbows, like joint stuff is a big one as well.
You've got another question here. Christina's saying, I'm curious about light language. Do we all have it in us, and when did it start for you? Do you want to give a little bit of your backstory?
Yeah, that's a long question to answer, but I'm going to try and keep it. So we all have a channel, and it's just called light language now because it's got different galactic energetic imprintings to it in its frequency. However, I mean, if you look like thousands of years ago, they were speaking in tongues. You know, that would be like a more earthly based sort of channeled language. My advice to anyone who would like to anchor into light language is first work on learning how to channel. And I also have actually a masterclass on that. Once you've mastered that, then it's really quite simple to anchor into light language. We all have an energy field. We all have a chakra system. Light language is an expression of the soul. Again, like, some people have done this in more lifetimes, so it'll be easier for them. Some people just channel written code and they don't necessarily speak the light language. So everyone's experience is different, but for sure, we all have a channel. We all can access, you know, our psychic gifts, and we all can channel information.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And anyone who is curious, she's got a website there. You can learn more about her story there. So thank you, Altia. And we've got our next guest lined up, ready to go.